Question 588. If you could quantum leap into any other person, who would you leap into, and what would you change in their life?
I'd leap into Dr. Sam Beckett, and I'd try and get him home.
If you did that, he wouldn't be able to solve the big problem at the end.
Well, he wants to get home.
He doesn't. He wanted to help. He wanted to help out.
He wanted to get home. He was always hoping the next leap would. Did you ever watch that series?
Did you watch the last episode?
I did. Yes.
Right. He had the option. He could have gone home.
Yeah, he helped out.
He chose to say to go and change Al's life instead.
And then he never. He just. All we know is he never returned home.
Yeah.
But he did want to go home.
Until then.
You know.
He had the option. He chose not to. That doesn't answer the question. He also isn't real.
And you might be talking to him right now. You don't even realise.
That's entirely true. Did you jump in here to sabotage the quiz?
Yeah, the real Scummer might be waiting in the waiting room somewhere and talking to Gushy and.
Yes. So who would you jump into?
I might have leapt into maybe Boris and like sabotaged the last fucking election as much as possible.
Oh, I like that answer.
And gotten Jeremy elected. That's what I would have done.
That gives me my answer. I would quantum leap into Brian Kemp, and I would make him admit that he fucking lost the election.
Who the hell is that?
He's the governor of Georgia.
Ah.
Yeah,
and there was a big thing about him basically cheating to win the vote, and he wouldn't admit it, and he basically got the vote from being a lying sack of shit.
He also was in charge of who was able to register to vote, and he prevented a lot of people from registering to vote that weren't going to vote for him.
Precisely. So he basically cheated his way into winning the vote instead of Stacey Abrams, who should have won it.
Shit.
Yep.
Right, Ike says, Jesus, to see what the hype was about. And what if I could have saved him from the cross?
Basically been like, no, fuck you, Dad.
No. I have a theory here. Somebody did quantum leap into Jesus because if you die in there, it's the leaper that dies and not the actual person. So maybe that's how Jesus was resurrected.
That's possible. You're right.
It was Dr. Sam Beckett leaped into Jesus, died on the cross.
That was his last leap.
Yeah, that was his last leap. We know we solved it. That is. I think we come out of the
mystery has been solved.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
We all wanted to know what happened to Beckett.
Well, now we know.
Ilya says, for humanity, I would jump into Trump and make him humble and give up re-election. Atheist says, hells yeah, Sarah. Grrr. I don't think I do grrr right. Nerdy says, I'd quantum leap into Dave and ensure that critical questions never happens.
Oh, but I like critical questions. It's fun.
Nerdy, you would rather be doing anything else right now than being in the chat here.
Also,
I want to
Nerdy,
get him on the show.
If it wasn't for critical questions, you wouldn't be writing the fan fiction.
Yeah. And you do realise, Sarah, you could very well be a part of this fan fiction now.
She already is.
Bring it on.
As long as it's with Badger, you don't. It's written about you and Badger. You don't mind.
I don't mind that. I'm open.
Math Pig's got to be in the middle.
I would leap into Hitler's mother and have an abortion.
Ooh.
I honestly don't even know if that would have stopped National Socialism in Germany. Honestly,
it probably wouldn't have. Someone else probably would have risen up and done the same thing.
But it would have been satisfying.
It would have.
Yes.
I think that's a big historical misconception. That it was all under him, and
yes,
that sort of that kind of right-wing reactionary thing. He was a product of that, as well as
much as created it.
Yes.
But even saying that,
So
you say that, but
I
he
still
was very
think that
much
could
the head
happen.
of the anti-Jew side of it.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, Julius Streicher, even before he joined the Nazis, was pretty bad on, and Ernst Röhm.
no, it wasn't an
a lot of
unknown
people
sentiment.
Actually, no, this was not an unknown. He was not. Hitler didn't introduce Jew baiting into the equation. I honestly don't think much would have changed had he hit. I think there would have been someone else. It could have been one of the others who, I'd say, arguably Goebbels or someone like that.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Right, Robert says he can't let Nerdy do that, so I think he's going to jump in and stop him. Badger.
Actually, Nerdy, if you need someone to edit the fanfiction, I'll gladly do it. I used to do that for a living.
You used to edit erotic fiction.
I did, yes.
Okay. Matt Pig says
Any recommendations?
What was that?
he needs recommendation.
Oh, these were all horrible. These were all on a an electronic erotica site. The authors were so horrible. It was hilarious though. It was like a 13-year-old or 14-year-old girl wrote everything because the names that came up for genitalia were hilarious.
I do have some really bad erotica around here somewhere, but I don't know where I put it.
I still know plenty of bad erotica.
I would have jumped into the body of former trade union leader Eric Hammond and stopped him from supplying fucking scab labour for Maggie Thatcher during some of the strikes in the 80s.
I have some interesting stories about them. Go on. Sorry.
Sammy Jenkins has turned into Ruby Rose and changed my underwear, so now I have to ask, who's Ruby Rose?
I was wondering
She
that.
is amazingly gorgeous and sexy. I mean, she's an actress.
I'm pretty sure Ruby Rose has been brought up on conversation before here.
What sort of actress?
She was one of the love interests in Orange is the New Black. Was one of her main things. She was like the butch girl at like that Piper screwed over.
She's an Aussie girl, isn't she?
Sammy Sweetness, you can come visit me as Ruby Rose.
Badger.
Yes, I would jump into George.
Wait! No Disney references.
Oh, there
poor
won't be any
Badger.
Disney references after I've done the jump. I will jump into George Lucas in the mid 2000s. I will have him adjust I will make subtle adjustments to the plot of the Clone Wars, so that it fits with the Republic Commando series.
So this is before he started retconning shit.
And I will tell Disney to fuck off.
And you forget the inevitable thing that eventually George Lucas is going to die, and someone would have sold it to fucking Disney eventually anyway.
Yeah, well,
Again, it's one of those. Again, it's one of those things that I think even that would have happened eventually.
I mean, Disney are buying up everything.
Yes, it would have happened eventually.
Yeah.
You basically,
Disney,
the only thing you could probably have done is tried to sell it quicker
Disney,
to someone else.
You might have got more. Might have asked them for a little bit more money than $4 billion or something.
Hopefully then.
I would jump into. All right then. I would jump into the head of Disney and I would break up the company.
Then
That might work.
Then Warner Brothers could come and take it and fuck it up instead.
No, I'll break up them too.
Right, okay, and then CBS are going to come in and buy it and merge it with Star
I'll break
Trek.
them too.
Just eventually, I'm imagining Badger like in front of a bunch of Star Wars memorabilia, saying like "Say hello to my little friend," like Tony Montoya, Montana.
Say hello to my little friend.
Exactly, and just like shooting them all or something to get them away from his Star Wars.
Yes, exactly. That's what this Quantum Leap scenario is going to turn into.
Exactly. At least he admits it.
You're aware, right, that everyone else had bold political changes for the world that would make the world better.
Yes. Badger only cares about Star Wars.
You know that earlier question where we talked about the people becoming alcoholics?
Yeah.
And my specific statement was, I have to not care about stuff, otherwise I get very sad.
No, Badger just knows that we're all going to take care of all the other shit, so he can focus on what matters to him.
No, I've already got that covered, so I'm saving Star Wars.
You're saving Star Wars.
Yeah, we're covering everything else. He's going to save Star Wars.
Fair enough.
Well, I now have some ideas of what I could do instead. I would leap into the head of Disney, not only buy a Star Wars, but buy Lego and make Lego Star Wars canon.
Yes.
I will come round to your house and I will replace your ears with Jar Jar ears. So.
Oddly enough, not the horrible thing that I thought he was going to say.
To be honest, it's the closest he's ever got to someone he's threatened.
Oh no, I meant Jeff.
Listen off, it's so bad, yeah?
Jeff, please
See,
no.
I did it.
Oh, excuse me, Geoff.
That's your ears now.
No.
If you enjoyed that, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. If you think you've got a better answer or just want to tell us how wrong we are, leave a comment down below. Subscribe down here for new questions every day and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on our live shows. If you click over here, you'll see our latest upload. Over here, for what YouTube thinks you'll love the most. And finally, for a complete playlist of all our currently released questions, click here.